Hi, everyone. A little fun intro for you because I am holding a Jack Skeleton mug. Uh, Welcome to Midlife Crisis. Nope, just following my Delulu dreams. I am Erica, your lovely, amazing, smart, beautiful favorite host in the whole wide world, the hostess with the mostest. I'm just pumping myself up for this episode. Pumping myself up. But welcome to the show. And today I have an amazing episode for you, or I think it's amazing. I scripted out a few days ago, not weeks. Um, but I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing episode. And while I was scripting, I thought this whole episode was just going to be an update and up level or upgrades. What is that segment called? Update and upgrades is my segment. But I found some updates and upgrades that I want to share before starting the episode. um, so this weekend I went to Disneyland. I've had this mug forever, guys. This Jack Skeleton mug, but I thought I would bring it out because I went to Disneyland and I had an incredible weekend. It was awesome. My cousins were in town. I got to see my cousins. And then I also worked a catering shift. So I work catering on the side because I think it's fun. I don't need to work catering, but having that extra money every once in a while is great. And since I work from home, um, it's great to like have a job where I can make easy money and like just talk to people and kind of flirt with them because I get a little flirty with the guests and other coworkers. Just saying. Just saying. That's my update. What my upgrade is that even though, like, I think inside my soul, I don't get tired. Like, I don't get energetically tired by doing the things I love. So, like, being in Disneyland all day Sunday, hanging out with my cousins, working, none of that energetically exhausted me. But my body, my body, guys. I'm in my 40s. It was hurting. It was hurting so bad. On Monday, I had the day off Monday, and I met up with my cousin before she left town and we grabbed lunch and then I came home, tried to rest for a bit more, and then I went to my friend's house because my I had told my friend I wanted to hang out, that I wanted to hang out. And I didn't realize my cousin was going to be stopping in LA for shopping. I thought they were just going to wake up and go home. They were staying in Anaheim near the Disneyland near the Disneyland resort, near Disney. They were staying in a hotel near Disneyland in Anaheim. So I didn't think they were going to come here into LA, but her son wanted to go to the mall out here because he loves LA. And so she's like, "Hey, I'm here. Do you want to get lunch?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah," because I love just like soaking up time with the people I love. And so I met up with them, and then when I got home, I was just like, I rested for a little bit, walked my dogs, and then went to my friend's house, and we were hanging out. And I was like, I gotta go. Like at 7:30, I was like, I'm falling asleep. I gotta go. I gotta go to bed. My body is tired. And then I woke up Tuesday morning, feeling hungover. I felt completely hungover. Like I felt like I partied all night, but it was basically 3 days in a row that I stayed up past midnight, and I can't do that. I can't do that because on top of staying up late and being old, I have to walk my dogs early in the morning because Buster is a reactive dog and I got to get him out before the other neighbors come out with their dogs. Like I live in an apartment complex. It's a big apartment complex. There's a lot of people and mostly everyone here has dogs. And so I really have to be I have to take a proactive approach to walking my dogs because when I sleep in, poor Buster doesn't get a lot of exercise in, and he started gaining weight since we moved into this apartment because he doesn't have a yard anymore. Where before I had a place with a backyard, even in Arizona, and then my own home where I didn't have to walk them as much because they just played in the backyard. I would just make sure that they would go out there. I would just like sit out there with them because they followed me around. Um, so yeah, that's another added layer that I have to take like an hour or two out of my day to walk my dogs so they get plenty of exercise. So my lesson is plan in more rest time. Be okay with like getting more rest, trying not to overbook my schedule, which is really hard for me as an extrovert that loves to go out. Like, okay, last night I was out till midnight again. And this morning, my friend that I went out with yesterday had invited me to go to a pop up to get some sandwiches, and she was going to be there at 10 in Santa Monica, which isn't too far from me. And I was kind of debating it. I was like, I do want to go, I do want to hang out, but I knew I was like, I'm going to be tired. Like, I'm going to be tired. I have to record this episode. I have to edit episodes. Like, Erica, you gotta reel it in. You gotta rest up. You gotta give yourself some energy, even though you love being outside and playing. And then also too, last night when I got home, I saw a text from my neighbor that was like, "Hey, you want to go kayaking at noon?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go kayaking at noon." And I was like, "Well, noon, like the kayaks are literally right in my front yard, so I don't have to like be there all crazy early. I could literally just walk out like 2 seconds before noon." But there was a part of me that was like, you should not go kayaking. You need to edit. You need to get yourself ready for a week. For the week, the place is a mess. Even though you're not super cleanly, or you're not super like clean and organized, you do want some order in your life. Like, pick up the place a little bit. And then she texted me this morning and she was like, "Hey, I'm not feeling too well. Do you still want to go with somebody?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm taking this as a sign of getting shit done that I need to do." So really, really my upgrade is finding the balance between having fun all the time, but then also being responsible and taking care of myself and fully resting, while at the same time taking care of myself and getting things organized, doing like the adulting stuff, right? Getting things organized and sitting down and working on my passion projects, which is this podcast, recording videos, which I don't think I'll do today. I might do tomorrow, but at least I could get a schedule for this coming week on what I want to record for some content on the Instagrams, on the internet. And I also have to finish editing episode 2, because as of this episode, as of this recording time, only one episode is out, and I still have to record the other one. And I haven't. I mean, I recorded it, but I haven't finished editing. I did start. Which leads into the whole topic of this episode today, is talking about overcoming cringiness, or maybe not overcoming it, but owning. Yeah, like owning your cringe. Oh my God, that's the name of the episode. Owning your cringe. Which now I have to insert this at top, where I'm like, yeah, welcome to today's show. Today we're going to talk about overcoming your cringiness. Yeah. So as of recording time, episode 1 has launched. It launched on Tuesday. And I'm right now in this moment, I'm like freaking excited. I'm so excited that it launched. I'm excited I'm recording. But this whole week actually, today's actually the first day that I feel excitement and joy, but like leading up to the launch and then the launch happened, I felt crazy cringe. Like, I just was like, ew, like, gross. Why did you launch a podcast, Erica? like so many negative thoughts were going through my brain, especially when I was like a lot like launching it and it being out was not the issue, but when anytime I was thinking of promoting, I like just the thought of promoting it and like putting myself out there on Instagram and social media and promoting, like, hey, watch my show, click here to subscribe. This utter like dread came over me. And I've done this before. I've had other podcasts where I promoted before, and I just had so much fun creating it and enjoying it. And it was also when I did the other podcast that it was very new to me, so I was learning a lot, and I was very, very excited. But I was just like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I not excited about this? Where a few weeks ago, when the idea of the podcast came up, when I spoke to Leia about it, when I spoke to my coach Marley, like, there was so much excitement around it. Like, I remember after I spoke to Leia, what that I was planning to do a solo podcast. For those that you that don't know, I had a podcast with my friend Leia, and I decided to go solo, and we had a conversation. It was like a great conversation. But I remember after talking with her about me going solo, like, just feeling this was like immense joy, like unbearable joy. That joy that's just like exuding your body. You don't know what to do. You like start crying. You're just like like that kind of joy I felt. And so it was very odd to me that I was feeling slightly repulsed by myself and repulsed by the idea of promoting. Like, I was like, ew, like, what is her problem? Some of the things I've said to myself, let me look at my notes because I wrote this down earlier. Um, yeah, I wrote this down earlier this week. I journaled basically this whole episode, but I'm not going off the script at all. I just kind of put my thoughts out so then I could like come here and speak the words. But I like to refer back to it because there were some good things that came on this paper. Okay, it's a scribbly piece of paper. I can't read my writing most of the time, but I am able to not only speak, Erica, because sometimes I miss words, if you guys notice that, or drop sentences off. But I'm able to read Erica scribbly, even though it is questionable. Questionable. I have had kids under 8 roast me for my writing. They have roasted me. I've seen their faces of disgust. Yeah, yeah. They may be related to me, so I have to love them. But if I didn't love them and weren't related to me, I would never see them again. But unfortunately, I do love them. Not unfortunately, they're amazing kids. I love them. I love them so much. So some of the things I said were okay. So some of the thoughts that came to me was like, you moved to LA to pursue acting and be more of a content creator, and now you're going back to podcasting. Like, you could have done that anywhere. You could have done that in Arizona. You could have done that in your hometown. You didn't have to move all the way out to fucking LA to go back to podcasting. Like, you are so icky. You're a failure. You couldn't get your other podcasts to grow. How you're gonna get this one to grow? And you're a failure. You're never gonna go anywhere. You're gonna get stuck, and all your dreams are freaking silly. Grow up, Erica. Just do your job and move back home. And it was just like the meanest shit. I was, yeah, I know. I am so mean to myself. Like, but honest, guys, that's like how I talk to myself a lot. Like, I really, really am so hard on myself. Like, I just saw myself and I was just being just this judgy ass bitch to myself. And I could be judgy, like unhealed Erica, she's a judgy bitch. Unhealed Erica, angry Erica. Unhealed, angry Erica, tired Erica, hungry Erica. My default is to be fucking judgy. I have that chismosatia vibe for sure. My parents are from a small town in Mexico, and I grew up on chisme, and I do love chisme, but I know sometimes chisme can be very harmful, and sometimes chisme could be fun. But there is a thin line. There's a thin line between bad and good when it comes to chisme. So my default is to be judgy and really be judgy on myself and really harsh on myself, because I know if a really good friend of mine or a partner came to me and said, hey, this is what I want to do, I would be 100% behind, like, supporting them and asking them, how can I help? Or being like, okay, like, we could promote, let's do this video, and like really, really be on their side and just totally helping them expand and be like, do you need editing? I could edit. Do you have a camera? I could do this, like, I would be involved in the creative process because I love creating content, creating podcasts. I love being just in this creative space. Why I thought I was so cringe was, what was happening was my body was remembering. So I've been through this before. I had, I think, three other podcasts. Two podcasts that I worked on a lot. One was kind of like I did it for like 2 3 weeks with a friend, and we're like, okay, we're done. Um, so when the like I set my expectations really really high. I told myself like these podcasts are going to change my life. They're going to open doors. I'm going to be able to make some extra income off of it. And when I started recording and podcasts, I couldn't really figure out how to grow. I couldn't figure out how to monetize, and I kind of just stayed stuck. And I was working not around the clock, but working hard on these podcasts, and they never went anywhere. And I kind of was let down by podcasts because it didn't create what I wanted. And I was upset with that. And also, I felt like a failure because I gave up and quit those podcasts. I have a few recordings from the My Immigrant Life podcast, and also Hey Sister, Soul Sister. I have two recordings that I never like edited and released. And then My Immigrant Life, like I think it's about 5 or 6, maybe more interviews that I never had the energy to go through, record, add some little like blurbs, add music, and like release them. Like I never had the energy, and it felt like why keep doing this if 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 those were never successful. And I just felt very let down, and I felt like I was still in the same situation from when I started. That is not true. That is not true because even though my career or like change happened because of the podcast, a lot of change freaking happened. But it was a different change that I was not expecting. It was a totally different, like, you have to change your whole life type of thing. And I said this in the first episode, it, adventuring off to podcasts was a catalyst for me to look at my life, especially the relationship that I was in, and leave that relationship. That's where how my life changed. Like my life did fucking change, and it changed a lot. And so you add the like let down failure plus like my life completely like uprooting and being single for the first time in 15 years. That's a lot of trauma that's in my body. But in my body, so um it was something that I had to really sit with. And I knew that when I was seeing myself trying to promote, like envisioning promoting this podcast, envisioning the future state, even envisioning editing the podcast. Because sometimes if I am in a very negative space and I go to edit, I hate watching myself. I like see myself and I'm like, she is so cringy. She gives me that ick. She's icky, 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 icky. So I had to sit with that, and I knew this was just ego speaking. I knew there was a part of me that was dying, some sort of identity in me that was dying, and that, but also when a part of you dies, a belief system or identity dies, the ego tries to hold on, the subconscious tries to hold, and it's trying to keep me safe. So it was a lot of like ego deaths happening. It was an ego death, but my body was trying to keep me safe from what I don't know. The growth of having this podcast and talking about like my healing journey and growth and going after my dreams, because this podcast is basically a something to hold me accountable to continue my dream. Right, because if I don't have this, I'm really bad. I have like ADHD with life is what I say. And when someone messages me and it's like, hey, you want to go have fun, I will do the fun things instead of like working, which I need to find that balance. Like I said at the beginning, I need to find that balance. So I need something to keep me accountable, and having this podcast and naming it the way I did is really a way for me to stay accountable. But I had to sit with it. So I had to sit with all those negative thoughts and understanding that they weren't true and that it was just ego, and my subconscious was trying to keep me safe, trying to keep me safe from those past letdowns, from that past trauma of the breakup, and just everything, like and also going into this podcast, I didn't set these high expectations. I went into this as like, I just want to talk. I'm going to keep expectations low, and if people find me, they find me. I still want this to grow. I still want to start monetizing off of it, but the main purpose of this is for me to have fun, for me to have an outlet to talk about creativity, to talk about healing, to talk about my life, to connect with you guys. But lastly, like the main thing that, like, why I was seeing myself as cringy was, I was seeing myself through the eyes of people that didn't fucking love me. I was seeing myself through the eyes of people that hate me. And maybe some of those people do love me, but it's conditional love. Like, I was seeing myself through the eyes of people in the past that loved me only if I stayed within certain rules they had created for me. So basically, I was seeing myself through the eyes of people that were benefiting from me and benefiting from me staying small and not growing, which is all conditional love, and it's not pure love. It's not abundant. It is scarcity. It's not abundant. And for me, being stuck in that energy was killing my soul. So I knew. So as soon as I knew what was happening, I had to journal it out. I just got my pen and paper and I journaled, like, I basically journaled this podcast, which I'm not like actually following, but it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of scribbly, and I had to like put these feelings out because I had to get them out of my body and onto paper, or speak them to somebody. But for me, this time I journaled it. I usually speak it to people, but this time I just like journaled everything. And I knew that I had to come on this podcast and talk about it again, get it out of my body. But also, I think in the sharing of it, it really helps anybody listening to get through these moments as well, and understand that, like, we all go through this. We all have this like feeling of like, oh, we're cringe for wanting these crazy ass dreams. Me in my 40s trying to pursue something creative, and not like continue growing in my company because my job doesn't give me joy, right? That's not what gives me joy. This brings me joy. This brings me fulfillment over the 9 to 5 that I have. And for a lot of people, it's like they don't understand. Like, I have had conversations with a few friends. Like, once, like, oh, because she had asked me one time, like, what do you want to do? And I told her like what it was, and she kind of was like, well, that's like not what kind of like real job do you want? And then I remember telling another friend, and she's like, well, that's not realistic. Um, and so letting go of like what is real, right? What is real is what I make real and what I want to be real. I just know that if I stay in the path of just sticking to a 9 to 5, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be fulfilled. And I have to go this other route, which is podcasting, creating content, acting. Those are like my three big things. So recording this, talking about it, journaling it, recording it, talking about it heals me just a little bit, guys. We're on this healing journey together. Yeah. Ooh, there's a plane very loud. Yeah, so all these just negative thoughts, negative Nelly, all these negative thoughts they're just fucking liars. They fucking suck ass, right? They suck. They're liars. And the truth is, and I talked about this already, but the truth is none of my podcasts were letdowns. None of them were failures. They were just there to show me a lesson. I gained so much wisdom from them. I learned how to edit. I learned how to launch a podcast. I learned how to, I already said edit, but be more of a podcast producer. These are skills that I didn't know before. And when I launched this podcast, it seemed very easy, like too easy. Because I remember when I've launched a podcast in the past, I was like, this feels hard. But since I had done it and I had helped people do it, I was like, okay, this is easy. Yay. And I also know how to edit. Like, I self-taught myself how to like audio edit and also how to video edit. It just came easy to me. I just did like a few YouTube videos and I was like, okay, like easy. Like, why do people struggle with this? I don't know why. This is like super easy. And mind you, I still have so much to learn. I still have so much to learn, but there's something in me that just picks it up right away. I don't know the terminology. I don't know things. I just kind of go on YouTube and figure it out. Thank God, YouTube. Yay. Not YouTube, not sponsored, maybe sponsored eventually. Even though the other podcasts I had did not like meet the expectation. Like, since I had they did not meet the exact goal that I wanted, but I gained so many other things from them, right? And they were really preparing me for this podcast, for the person I am today. And I think all those lessons added up with all the skills I gained, from launching previous podcasts and being in other podcasts, plus the whole breakup and going through a life journey, really just energetically prepared me and upgraded me to be here with you guys on camera, or in audio, in your ears or on camera. If you go to YouTube, you could see my face. I put makeup on and did my hair just for you guys. Ever since I failed, I'm going to do the quotes, failed in my previous podcast, this has really shifted me from a very chasey energy, scarcity energy, into this like abundant love energy. But I was able to calibrate my energy into that. And I know with this new, like, I'm going to keep calibrating because I still have not a fear of being seen, but really, I don't think I'm ready to go like massive viral yet, because I'm celebrating like 28 people watched this last episode 1. I was like, yes, 28 people. That's a lot of fucking people. But I got to prepare myself for 28,000, 28 million. I got to prepare myself for the masses. And that's like big energy coming at you. And I think I'm a little, I don't say it often, but I do feel like I'm a little bit of an empath. I think we all are empathic, but that's just a lot of energy, a lot of other people's energy. And even though I'm an extrovert and I'm an energy sucker, like I get my energy off of people, unwanted energy from people are kind of have lower vibing energy is I'm not ready for that yet. And I have to figure out how to keep myself open and allow that in, but allow the like high vibing energy, the love energy, the abundant energy, and not the lower levels, or how to not let that lower level of energy affect me. So that's kind of like where I'm at with that. And like, most importantly, I shifted, instead of seeing myself through the eyes of someone that hates me, is I shifted to seeing myself through the eyes of people that loved me hard. And I don't know, I think I keep saying most importantly, like every time I like think a new thought, most importantly, because it just keeps adding on, right? It's like keeps adding on. But yes, there needs to be some rewording with this cringe, because I'm not cringe. I'm quirky. And quirky's cute. People love quirky. People adore quirky. And quirky's just it's basically cringe, but just a cuter way to say it. So I have eliminated or trying to eliminate calling myself cringe and shifting it into quirkiness. Into quirkiness. And so that's like my big transformation this week. I'm back to being crazy excited for this podcast, back to getting excited about recording again. I wrote another script the other day for a video, and I keep writing these scripts, and I was like, I need to record the scripts and edit and share them to the world. But right now, this big priority is this podcast. Trying not to burn myself out because I tend to do that. And one of the things that my coach mentioned to me this week, because I told her, I was like, I have all these ideas, but I can't get to them all. And one of my biggest fears right now is burning the fuck out, because sometimes I get all these ideas and try to do everything, and then I burn myself out, and then I have these big hibernation periods. And she's like, okay, Erica, you just need to follow the flow. Like, what feels good, what feels fun. Forget about what everyone's telling you about the algorithm and posting so many times a day. Like, what feels fun? Follow that. Put some structure around it. Like, you're going to have this podcast every week, so have structure around the editing, but make it fun. Keep it fun. And when you follow the flow and you go maybe slow, your manifestations, your new life starts forming faster, because when you try to go fast and do a lot, you'll crash out, and it actually will put you further away from your dreams. And I was like, okay, noted. I will fight the urge to overdo it and then crash out. I'll fight the urge to do these like crazy sprints, and remind myself that this is a marathon, not a sprint. I got nothing to prove. I already feel worthy. I have a fucking amazing life. I love my life so much. So much now. And so slow and steady wins the race. I said that kind of odd. But here's some other things that it's so funny. When I had thought of this cringe, when I thought I was cringe, when Negative Nelly was in my head, I saw a few things online. Like, I was listening to podcasts, and Lord and behold, my lessons were there for me. These were comedy podcasts, and they started like talking about cringe. And so one of the podcasts I listened to is the Super Bestie Club, the Super Duper Bestie Club. It has Curly Vasquez and Maya. I don't know her last name. Maya in the Moment. They were both from Pero Like, which is basically BuzzFeed, but the Spanish one for Latinos. So Curly mentioned that he was listening to a podcast, and the host said, the price of entry is cringe. The price of entry is cringe. Hello. And he went on and said that, like, he does cringe for money. So he, being in BuzzFeed or Pero Like, a lot of the on-camera performers would do like funny things. I think he said he like put on a duck suit and was like quacking around. He's like, hey, I get paid to be cringe. And so that's like the goal for me, is I get paid to be cringe or quirky. Either, I mean, you could use cringe. I said we would change cringe to quirky, but like cringe could be a fun thing. We could make it positive instead of negative. Another example is the Try Guys, who also started at BuzzFeed. They started, I think one of their first videos was trying on women's lingerie, which is can be considered cringy, right? And now they have their own company. They are my favorite YouTube creators. They started their own channel, which I subscribe to, and I basically follow everything they do. I really love what they're doing out there. Another example is Pinky Patel. Maybe a year ago or so, I went through her old content. So now she like wears a crown, puts chapstick on. She's like hi, like, welcome to my channel. And she does an Indian accent. She is Indian, but she does an accent. And I was looking at her old videos, and she was just like out there putting videos out, and they weren't great, but she was trying, right? She was trying, and she was perfecting her skill. And I didn't consider those videos cringy. They just weren't like the content she does now. Her content has improved over time, but I'm pretty sure she might have thought that they were cringy. For me, it was great to see that, like, she didn't build this persona that she has now right away, that it took her a while to get up to it. And like someone like me, that's always good to see, because I suffer from perfectionism when it comes to my content. Yes, other things, no, but like my content and probably party planning, I get like slightly, like, it's weird day and night for a person that like is really go with the flow. Like, those are things that I like get nitpicky about, like. And it's funny, and I laugh at myself when I know, like, yeah, like, I don't even like people taking pictures of me because they don't know my angles. Like, hello, you don't know how to take my picture. Can you hold the camera like this? Can you do this? Like, I just get very like type A in those moments, which is not me. So Pinky Patel, um going back to Pinky, is, so for example, I didn't see her videos as cringe, but I saw the potential. There was potential in her videos. So she may had seen cringe. When I went back and looked at her old videos, I saw potential. And now she tours and does stand up, and she has a big following on the interwebs. But those are just like examples of people that did cringe things. And being cringe is just being quirky and cute on camera, and us taking the risk of doing what our heart desires and figuring it out. And I think when we think of ourselves as cringe, is because we are really seeing ourselves through the lens of hate instead of the lens of love. And once we shift it to the lens of love and abundance, and give ourselves grace and allow ourselves to be silly in public, in a very public space on the internet where it's going to live forever, is a gift to ourselves. It's a gift to our inner child. And that's like the greatest act of love to ourselves. Oh my God, mic drop right there. That was not part of my script. But it is the greatest act of love to ourselves, is loving our quirks and loving our cringes and loving our icks is like the best gift we could give to ourselves. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Well, I'm gonna cry because I just came. Because it took me a long time to really love myself, and I think I still struggle with that. Like, even last night, I went out, and my friend was like, "Yeah, Erica knows this area because her acting studio is down there." And I had these other girls I just met. They're like, "Oh, you're an actor," and I was like, "Well, like, I kind of haven't been doing anything, but I had a podcast." I didn't even like tell them how to get here. And then I blurted out, "Yeah, but like, I get embarrassed to talk about it." And they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "I do know," but I was just like, "I don't know." I just had a lot of people in my life kind of tell me that my dreams were crazy, and I had to get my head out of the clouds, and um that, yeah, like, it wasn't realistic. And so when you have people you love tell you that, it it is hard to get out of it. It is hard, and I just have to constantly remind myself. And this is why I have this podcast too, so that I us people, like us creatives that have suppressed our inner child, our inner artists, have suppressed the artistic side of ourselves, the creative side of ourselves, have a place to come and let that out. But also, in doing that, knowing the feelings that will come up and the struggles that we'll go through, because we have to parent ourselves through it. We have to support ourselves, and in supporting and loving ourselves, that's when we attract the people that support and love us, because we're not going to be able to do it alone. We got to build our community. our safety net that will help us. And I think slowly but surely I'm building that. And I have some people that have always been there for me, that have been ride or die for me. So those are the people I go to when I'm like, help, I feel like poopy. Can you help me feel better? And it's just talking. It's just talking, spending time with them. That's it. That's the end of this episode. Namaste. Good night. And stay delulu. Oh wait, you want to see the face of Jack Skeleton? Stay delulu. Until next time. Oh wait, I forgot to say until next time. Until next time, stay delulu. Yeah, that outro works better. That's not the song to anything. It's just me saying.